Be blessed by the divine. What happens after we die? Do we reincarnate? Let's understand the birth itself. And let's understand life before we ask ourselves the questions, what happens after death? The birth was a fusion of two life energy particles, one from our father, one from our mother, and a soul got formed. As this soul or the life energy of these two human beings came together, in the center of the new body that got formed, particularly in the three-dimensional center, precisely at the three-dimensional center, the life force formed its vortex. And the life force evolves into the magnetic force. And the magnetic body also forms this vortex in the three-dimensional center of the human body. In fact, in such a magnetic force, and the life force forms its center in the three-dimensional center of any life form, whether it is a plant or an insect or a bird or an animal or an human. And as the life force functions within the body, it supplies to the body the necessary energy for the cells to digest, to absorb and retain, and to eliminate. Digest food, absorb nutrition, eliminate waste. The body grows. The cells mutate, it grows. Till the age of about 14 or so, the body goes to a height of about 6 foot or so, approximately as an average for all human beings. And after that, the brain starts to develop, the brain functions, the consciousness starts to develop within this human being. And as the body grows, the body also digests food. The food becomes juice, blood, flesh, fat, bone, marrow, and finally vital fluid. The vital fluid is the carrier or the battery for the life force energy. And as the quality and the quantity of the vital fluid increases, the quantity and quality of the life force increases. The life force quantity and quality determines the quantity and quality of the biomagnetic energy. And 75% of the energy goes for the bodily functions of digestion, absorption of nutrition, and elimination of waste. 25% goes for the brain functions. Body takes the priority for its survival over the brain functions. And this continues on for about 40 years, from birth to about 40 years. We have what we call the early age. And in that age, we have excess energy, excess vital fluid, excess life force particles within the body. So that's the youth. And that is where we can actually create the best that we want to create in our life. In the middle age, between 41 and 80, we reduce the intensity of the life vital fluid. And therefore, our energy keeps coming down. From after 80, 81 to 120, there is no excess vital fluid in the body, and therefore, overall, we cease to accumulate more energy and we diminish in terms of intensity of this energy. When this vital fluid comes out of the body, the last quantum of the vital fluid comes out of the body, there is death. Life force energy completely eliminates, and complete exhaustion of magnetic energy from the body takes place, and the spirit and the body becomes two different entities. As the spirit comes out of the body, it is full of ether, and it is full of lighter energy particles. These light energy particles cannot remain within the orbit of the earth. It escapes the orbit of the earth and it merges with the universal magnetic field. In the universal magnetic field, it reduces its intensity and becomes one with the Almighty force. in between, if there are any unfulfilled desires that the person might have, then this soul remains within the orbit because of the weight that it carries in itself. The purpose of such lingering is to attach itself to a like-minded person, living person, and completely transfer the unfulfilled desires to the living person. And once the desire gets sublimated, eliminated, expiated from the genetic center of the soul is no more within the orbit of the earth, and it merges with the Almighty Force. So essentially, we have no rebirths. However, having understood this, it's also important that there are constant soul attachments that take place within our soul. So we sometimes recognize that perhaps in a different life form, we have lived in a particular place, or we have worked with somebody, or we have grown up in a particular house, and therefore we might recognize some of those people who we have never met physically in our life, but suddenly these kind of incidences have happened and people have not been able to explain, and therefore they have come to a conclusion that these souls have been reborn from the past birth to this birth. It's not rebirth, it is soul attachment. People have lived in the past in such houses and they have departed, and such souls, because of unfulfilled desires, gotten attached with like-minded souls, and these souls, these living beings, living within this attached soul, then go back and recognize and fulfill their desires. Once the desires are fulfilled, they become normal human beings back again, and they actually forget the fact that they had these kind of incidences or recalls of memories and so on and so forth. Therefore, what is important for us is to recognize the fact that the other side of our mind is consciousness. The Almighty is within us. The purpose of our birth is to recognize the presence of this Almighty Force and become one with the unified force. This is yoga. Be blessed by the